So what do you think is the biggest challenge for AI today?
I think that you see more and more challenge in AI today to build system that can earn the trust of the public. Um, uh, After 20 years of AI, people understand that this is a very, very massive, strong tool, um, and they are not willing to um, they are not willing to take what the engineers slash companies says as is, and they are trying to ask questions very justifully. By the way, they should ask questions. How does it work? Why you did it in the way that you did it? How did you gather the data? Is it is the result are unbiased? Is the system is good to me? Is it improve the society in general or not? And I think that this type of question about the AI, we'll talk about the technical stuff in a second, but I think that um, this type of question about AI, about a product that based on AI, will be more and more relevant in the next few years. Make sense? I think that I take
Yeah.
it to a completely different direction
No,
than this.
I think it makes sense because we're, after all, you're as a founder, you decide where you put your talents and expertise, right? And you decide that you understand that this is a very powerful tool, and you want to use these capacities to do something that is good as you see it. So I totally understand that. So as a start, when we're thinking
But
about entrepreneurs and
but but
startups,
maybe
yeah.
but maybe another word about AI. Usually, when people ask this question about where are the challenges in AI, they don't talking about the challenge of make the AI product accessible to the public or how to build trust. Talking about what is hard when you develop an AI tool, and 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 I think that what my opinion, it's how to develop system which can work cross platform. So in many cases, when you develop something in AI, it's work for this specific task, but it's how to make it to work on another task. And I'm a big believer in generative AI, which is not AI; it's the next evolution of AI. And I think that in generative AI, the challenge is how to automatically or semi-automatically measure the quality of the output. I think that it's a very important point.
So tell me exactly what is the difference between AI and generative. I understand that generative means that the model itself, the AI model, would create something. It will have an output in the end. So how is it different from an AI that just goes through images and classifies them and understands them and has a different kind of input?
But the AI, the standard AI or the traditional AI also has an output. So this is not the output is not the
Yeah,
different.
yeah, right.
Um, in a traditional AI system, the platform says something about the existing data. It gives you recommendation on a Netflix movie. It recognizes a bottle of Coke in a picture. It can tell you something that's happened in this moment, or can try to guess what will happen, but what will happen next. But it will always be on the existing data.
Yeah.
Generative AI generate data that was not there before. It create data, and it can create a text that was not there before. It create visual, a picture of faces, illustration, audio, video that was not there before. And this is a big difference because it's not only saying something about the data, is to generate data. It's revolution, to
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah. So I'm asking you, you mentioned bias, and then we have the bias in data because currently we know that most of the images on the internet are not, they're biased, right? So we have more men, we have more white men, we have, this is what we have online, most of the images. how do we make sure that what is the input and the output of this AI would be not biased?
It's a hard task. It's a
Yeah,
very hard
it
task.
is.
I think that first of all, you need to acknowledge that this is a challenge you need to face with. Because until 7 years ago, no one talked about it. So the first thing is that you need to acknowledge that you have a problem. More than that, if someone talked about it in the past, he talked it in the context of how I generate the precision recall, know how I make sure that there will be no bias. It's even worse than that.
Yeah.
The way that it's not something that you cannot solve bias. If you're aware of the problem and you know that this is what you need to solve, then all of a sudden you find the places that you added into the system as part of the system, and it's become inherently part of it. It's like security. You don't solve for security. It's not like, okay, today we are going to do security. You understand that there are some standards that you need to meet. You understand that there are some routine that you need to keep in order to keep your platform in some level in terms of cybersecurity. Same goes for privacy. Same goes for bias. If you understand that this is part of the challenge, you make sure that your training set or evaluation set is unbiased. You make sure that you check that in advance. You make sure that you compare what you have between different subgroups. It's become part of the system, like security, like privacy,
Yeah.